that because there was very little turn down. We just made it online. Can you?
No,
Is
it's
there a
okay.
place for you to sit and do the call?
Yeah, sure, sir. I'm finding a path.
There's a cafe just across the road from there. You can go there. If you
Okay,
on your left.
okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. I think we can
Uh,
start now.
yeah,
Let's.
we can
Sorry.
start. We've crossed
Yes.
50.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, perfect. Great, great, great. All right. Well, batch of 2025. Firstly, very, very, very warm welcome to the IFM family. Really glad to be connecting with you here and getting a chance to welcome you. We've organized this discussion as a sort of a build up to your travel to IFM. I think all of you are headed there next week, and then you start your induction process. We thought it might be worthwhile for you to interact with some of our illustrious alumni to get to know a little bit more about the institution, about the journeys that they have embarked post graduating from the institution where they've reached, and also some thoughts about the sector. I'm sure many of you are at the moment curious and thinking as to where this institute can take you. Some of you might even be wondering if we made the right decision by getting into a sectoral institute versus a general MBA. So we thought it'll be very useful if we can spend an hour discussing some of these thoughts and answering some of these questions. So here's the format for today's talk. I'll just very quickly start and give you my background and my what I gained from the institution. Then we'll maybe go around and ask some of our other alumni to just spend a couple of minutes in their opening thoughts and remarks about what message they'd like to give you. And then in approximately 10 minutes, we'll stop and then we'll open the floor to questions from you. So my name is Swapan Mehra. I'm the Secretary of the IFM Alumni Association. I'm also the CEO and founder of IORA Ecological Solutions. My organization works on developing forest conservation, land restoration, and sustainable agriculture programs around India. We've done 150 such programs in the last 10 years, covering about 12 million hectares, worked with the central government of India, many state governments, and also helping a lot of large corporates reducing their environmental footprint, offsetting their carbon footprint, and so on and so forth. My organization has about 55 people, out of which there are 7 others who are from IFM and others from various other institutions. I was a software developer before I joined IFM. IFM completely changed my trajectory, gave me a vision, gave me a passion, which has been lifelong, and gave me a direction in which I've been able to build a very, very interesting career. I'm extremely thankful that I went to that institution, was able to build a network with the alumni, faculty, and other practitioners, in this sector who come and participate at various fora in the institution. When I joined IFM, it was and still is actually one of the most exclusive and unique institutions which combines conventional management, courses of MBA with sectoral expertise in sustainability, forestry, rural development. And that goes to show when you look at the CVs of some of our most illustrious alumni who are leading thought, leading practice across all of these areas that I mentioned. So very happy to be here. Very, very warm welcome to all of you. And now I'll hand over to Sandeep Chakravarti, who's our president, to share his thoughts. And then after that, we can just pass on to each other. We can pass the baton and then hand over to you guys for questions. So over to you.
Thank you, Sapan. Sapan, apart from being one question, are you guys all comfortable in English, or would you need us to speak in a mix of Hindi and English? And also, please, if you can, put on your camera.
Sir, we are comfortable in English.
You're comfortable in English. तो आप जो जिनका हो सकता है कैमरा ऑन कीजिए ताकि हम भी देखें आप लोगों को. स्वपन, तुम भी कैमरा चलाओ. निखिल, हाँ, तुम भी गाड़ी में बैठे हो क्या? या अशोक कुमार, आपका कैमरा उल्टा है. Anyway, so my name is Sandeep. I am a grand old alumni of. I gave my introduction in the chat. So I passed out in 1991. At that time, the institute was very fledgling. It was a very young institute, but I must say that going to IFM changed my life forever. I really became what I am because of the institute, and lot of credit to the institute, to the surroundings, to my batchmates, programs that I learned there or went through. And in many ways, it is a unique institution. You will soon realize when you go there that it is a management institute, but with a very strong environment, climate, natural resource management, people approach, which other management institutes don't address. So many of you who are inclined to that will find this place very, very rewarding. I worked for more than 5 or 6 years in first in a non-governmental organization dealing with wasteland development, and then I was a year with a foreign agency, Swedish International Agency, and then I happened to write the civil service examination, and I cleared that, and then I joined the Indian Foreign Service. So the last 27 years or so, I am a diplomat, and right now I am posted in the ministry in South Block in New Delhi, and I deal with Europe. But one thing I will say very briefly is that my experience with IFM has transformed me, and that is why I'm so much involved with the Alumni Association, because that helps me continue with my interest in natural resources and with environment, with development, with climate issues. So although in my day job I may not be doing so much on this issue, but being part of the Alumni Association, talking to several of my colleagues who are in the sector, including Swapan, who is our secretary, and Nikhil, who will join us after me, you will realize how IFM addresses a particular need that the country has, and you will be following in the footsteps of many people who have passed out before you. So I will end there, and I apologize for the short time notice that we gave you, because we got the list only day before yesterday, and we realized that you will be moving to Bhopal next week. So we thought, even if few people join, let us have an interface with the alumni, and do keep in touch with us. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on WhatsApp, on many platforms. So keep in touch with us, and we will be interacting throughout your stay in Bhopal. With that, I hand over back to Swapan, or should
Yes,
I
sir.
give?
No, so absolutely, we'll request Nikhil sir to speak here. But just want to emphasize one point, guys. Like sir has mentioned, this is just the beginning of our interaction. We'll type our numbers or our IDs or emails, whatever everyone is comfortable with, in the chat here. So please do feel free to reach out to us and ask us questions. Or if you'd like us to speak to you as a group again when you guys are in Bhopal, we'll be very happy to. So please do note that this is just the beginning of our interaction with you and not the end. With that, I'll request Nikhil sir if he can speak next. Nikhil sir.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you're loud and clear.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So hi everyone. I am Nikhil Mathur. I am from the batch of the year 2000. So yeah, I've been out there for quite some time as well. Currently, I work with the Azim Premji Foundation. You may know this is India's, I mean, if not the largest, among the largest individual philanthropies. And I'm based out of Bangalore. And currently, I work in the space of grant making in the area of water. So we work across the country and make grants to civil society organizations working in the field in the area of drinking and domestic water, as well as irrigation, and also some work in urban drinking water. My career has been mostly in natural resources management and livelihoods. And I worked across multiple organizations and across the country, actually. I've been fortunate to work with some of the leading organizations in the country. My career is all of it has been in the development sector because I reached IFM looking for a career in the development sector. I mean, I know that many people who reach IFM, including some of you maybe, are not really looking for a career in the development sector, but that's fine because IFM offers careers go to all categories and people of all interests. So people of my batch, the batch which passed out in the year 2000, work across sectors. So many of them are in microfinance, of course, development sector. Many people, some people are in the corporate sector, hardcore marketing and sales kind of profiles. We have people who work in the IT space, and of course, we have people in the academics as well. So IFM actually uh, really enables people who have some interest in in development to build careers in the area of their own respective interests and inclinations, and which is what I have seen in my batch, in my senior batches, as well as the batches that have come after. So I feel that this is a great opportunity which IFM creates for everyone, and it's really up to each of us to make the best of this opportunity. And we at IFM now we have a dynamic director who also happens to be an alumni of the institute, and of course he subsequently went on to join the Indian Forest Services, but he is also an alumni. And so it's a fantastic time to be at IFM. And you may have visited IFM already as part of your interview process, etc., but you have to see IFM across seasons, and summers is when you may have seen it, but now when you join, it will be monsoons, and it is the best time to be at IFM because the hill really comes alive. And I hope you have the best of the time at IFM, and this gives you the right. I'm sure it will give you the right platform to build you a wonderful career. So with that, I hand this over back to Sopan.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I want to add a little bit to his last point. In addition to the fact that there is a constellation of factors with a very dynamic director and a very active alumni association, you also uh, but both business and environments. It's a very, very interesting time to go to an institution like this in which you can the institution and your career. Uh, Let me invite now Radhika ma'am, if she can quickly just introduce herself and share some thoughts, and then we'll move on from there. Radhika ma'am.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes,
We can hear
ma'am.
you.
Is my video also on? Yeah, okay.
Yes, yes, ma'am. We can
Yes,
see you on
hi,
both.
hi everyone, and really happy to welcome this latest batch. Even before you have reached IFM, I think it's a great idea that the alumni decided, the association decided to host this, even though it's virtual. A welcome into the, fraternity. Um, so a quick introduction. I am PFM 2000 batch, same as Nikhil. We are also husband and wife, same batch. And I work as executive director of Access Development Services. Access is a non-profit NGO working in the area of livelihoods promotion. Um, Essentially working towards enhancing incomes of poor and low income households, both in urban and rural areas, through supporting, both in the farm sector and non-farm sector, livelihood options and occupations that they are engaged in, or any new, areas of livelihoods that we could open up for them. Um, I have been with Access for over 12 years now. And before that, I have also had great opportunities of working with other, reputed organizations in the development space. So I began with working more in the area of both microfinance and microfinance evolving into the space of financial inclusion, which talks about supporting and facilitating access of financial services for people in both rural and urban areas, but people who do not have that access to bank account, to credit, insurance, and other financial services. So that's where my initial, about 15 years were more focused on, but for the last few years, I've diversified my work into the space of supporting livelihoods as well. Um, and, like Nikhil just mentioned, actually, I was in Bhopal, unfortunately, only for a day on Friday, actually, only for a few hours. And it's always so wonderful to be in Bhopal. And even if, there is paucity of time and you can't visit the campus, we can always see it up on the hill, from the road down below, and the lakes and the hills. It's still going to rain, so by the time I guess you guys reach, it's going to be much more beautiful in terms of the weather. Um, and IFM, of course, like Nikhil said, he knew, he had much more clarity when he reached IFM on what he wanted to do, um, which was not the case with me. But as I explored, got into not just the subjects, but the experiential processes that IFM offers of the internships and the field trips and so on. It just felt right, and it felt like, yeah, this is the place and the space that I would like to continue developing my career, and so on. So I have been in, so to say, the development space of the sector for the last 23 years. But like Nikhil said, a lot of our batchmates are in diverse spaces, and I have worked with so many IFMites, as seniors who had passed out earlier, and it was always a great experience to have seniors as your either bosses or even peers. And I have hired and worked with several of the junior IFM colleagues, pass outs, and it feels good to mentor them and support them if you can. But my experience has always been really good with students passing out, or people who come out of IFM, and working with them as colleagues, and so on. And one, of course, makes friends for life. That is also, I'm sure that happens with most institutions, but it's wonderful to have friends who also, you keep finding them in the same space of both work and your personal spaces. So that's great too. Once again, a very warm welcome. I hope in my next visit to Bhopal, I can take some time out and visit, and maybe see some of you in person as well. Good luck.
Thank you, ma'am. Sandeep sir, is Ravi sir sitting next to you? If so, can we request him to address the students before we then turn to their questions? Sandeep sir, are you there?
Okay, sorry about that. As usual, I was speaking on mute. Nevertheless, as I was telling, I'm one of the dark horses at IAFM. I was a perennial backbencher, finished top from the bottom. And more importantly, I lived at IIM more than studied at IIM. So I'm the perfect candidate that you should not talk to on day one. Nevertheless, what I want you guys to know is, if I could be successful in life, relatively speaking, okay, all of you could be able to do much better than I could. Okay, so that's one word of encouragement that I want you to use. Second thing is, the 2 years that you're going to spend at IIM, it's not what you learn within the walls of IIM, it's what you're going to learn outside the walls that's going to be really useful for you in real life. And the people that you meet with, the projects that you go on, the politics that other students play with each other, those are all going to be very handy when you come to real life. And I actually set myself a timer for 3 minutes. I don't want to talk for too long. A little bit about me. I worked for 7 weeks in an NGO soon after my IAF. It took me 7 weeks to realize that I was not cut out for the NGO system. And then I worked with a plantation company, not in planting anything or other. I was in sales. I was in sales for about a year. I joined as an assistant manager, take care of part of Chennai. And then within the year, I grew to be the sales manager for South India. So someone believed that I can sell. I never believed it, but someone else believed it. Subsequently, my girlfriend at that time said that she would marry me if I don't leave the country. So I left the country. I got into programming or management consulting, so to speak. I worked with Accenture, or those days it used to be called Anderson. I worked with KPMG. I worked with IBM. And after paying my dues to get my green card, I started becoming independent contractor. I have 2 of my companies in the US. I have a small company in India. The reason why I'm telling you all of this is IISM is the place where it all started from. What I learned in 2 years at IISM, if you were to weigh it on a scale, the 21 years before when I got to IISM, IISM will still overweigh that. You're going to learn a lot of things. You need to learn to apply what you learn to be very successful. So all the very best, and congratulations on getting to IISM. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So I thank you very much to all our fellow alumni. I'll now turn to all of you for your questions. Can you please raise your hands if you have any questions for us, or drop them in the chat so that we can ask you to speak one by one? Anybody? Or you can just also just turn on a camera and wave vigorously and I'll call you out. In the meanwhile, while you guys think of questions, I have a question for all of you. Can you all put in the chat your backgrounds? How many of you are engineers? How many of you are coming from studying social sciences? How many of you have a botany background? Can you just type out what backgrounds you have?
Yeah, and also I think I see Vivek from our BOG. Maybe Vivek, you can come in for a minute and tell
Is
about
Vivek there? Oh,
yeah,
so sorry.
Vivek is
Okay, Vivek, please. Vivek, over to you.
Hi everyone, and welcome. And it's good to see you people approaching IFM, and probably many of you will be there, say within few months. Just to introduce myself, I'm Vivek Mishra. I did my postmasters from IFM, and I started my career with an NGO. Worked for a few years in NGO, then I went to corporate. Worked for almost 15 years in corporates. Worked with companies like Rolta, RMSI, Pixel, which are big names in geospatial technologies. So worked in this domain as a technical marketing and business development leads. Did few other companies for even bidding and technical marketing. Currently working with the government of Tripura, providing consultancy to them in water resources and environment. So IFM is a place where we get a diversified kind of knowledge and experience. And it is not limited to that we are working in an environment only, or we can work in NGOs only. It gives you a background and understanding where you can utilize that in any domain, any market, any segment. So that is something very unique. And the association which started from there, it helps you throughout your life. A good connect, good network, which helps you a lot. So I hope many of you will get that feeling, that affiliation, and that love towards IFM, and will enjoy that in future also. All the best and welcome.
Thank you so much, Vivek. Is there any other alumni or member of the BOG who I have missed on the call? If so, please just unmute and speak. All right, if not, then over to you, the students. I'm just looking at your backgrounds. What a diverse batch. We have biotechnology, earth sciences, agriculture, BCom, forestry, biology. That's very, very interesting, guys. How many of you are enrolling for the forestry course and how many for sustainable management? Can you guys also mention that? In the meanwhile, guys, if you has any questions, please ask. Aradhna, I see that you have a question. Go ahead.
Good evening, respected seniors. And my name is Aradhna, and sir, I have opted for sustainability management course at IIFM.
Right, right.
Uh, I have a background, educational background of BSc Agriculture from Banaras Hindu University and MSc Agriculture with my major in plant pathology and minor in entomology from Central Agriculture University, Pusa. So my question is that, will my academic knowledge of masters will be applicable or useful in further industrial like industrial attachment of me with any organization, or there would be something else I have to do after studying from IFM, or there will be a research field. I want to understand what opportunities I will get after completing sustainability management from IFM.
Sure. That's a great question, Aradhna. Before we attempt to answer it, can you talk a little bit more about your plan? Are you more interested in a research kind of a career, or are you looking more at application, working with companies, or are you more looking at the public sector? What do you have in mind? I know it'll evolve over time. You're just enrolling into IFM. It'll broaden a lot of your thought. But at the moment, what is your goal? What is your thought?
Sir, I would like to just go on a research based side, which I find myself more in that sector right now. But I don't know, after joining IFM, I have any other kind of inclination towards any other sector. I am talking about at the present time.
Fantastic.
And sir, I need guidance in what sector I should go for. I am open for changing right now. I don't have any typical inclination towards a sector.
No, that's so all great points, Aradhana. Firstly, your background is extremely valuable. There is a lot of interest now from corporate investors to invest in sustainable agriculture, agroforestry, and forestry towards reducing their environmental footprints. At the same time, there is also a lot of acknowledgement of the fact that these are very under-researched areas. Especially in the forestry space, genetics, improved genetics. These are areas on which very little work has been done. And as you'll notice in the next 2 years and in the next few months, in fact, when you interact with more people in the group, there are a number of IFMites who've actually built exceptional careers working on research related to agriculture and forestry. Some of these alumni are present in India. They work for reputed research organizations and universities, the ATRIs of the world, IITs of the world. But there are also people who are doing exceptionally well in research overseas. A couple that I would highly recommend you connect to are Alak Saxena and Puneet Dwivedi. And if you text me, I'm happy to connect them to you. They've actually built very successful careers, and they are both assistant professors in leading US universities working on forestry research. But I think my key point is that the demand for evidence and knowledge to support plant science from an investment lens has only just begun. So, anywhere in that value chain, a role that you can play will be a very, very, very huge, will be hugely in demand, because that value chain was so underinvested for many years because there was no attention of investors that there is a large scope for improvement of knowledge. So no, I think your background is exceptionally important and will really really serve you well. Anybody else would like to comment on this research perspective, Nikhil sir or anybody? In the meanwhile, guys, raise your hands. Others who have questions.
May I add something there,
Vivek,
Sopan?
Vivek, please. Yes, Vivek, please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Aradhana, apart from this, there are many IFMites who are working as professors in Indian, say, universities like Punjab Rao Krishi Vidyapit, Forest College, Dapoli. So people are there with the similar kind of backgrounds who are in hardcore research and teaching. They are working as professors, assistant professors in India and abroad. Apart from this, even in forestry sectors, many of our, say, juniors and seniors are in Indian Forest Services. So it's basically giving you a background, and with the, say, management which you are going to learn in IFM will certainly go to help you in future in many other dimensions. Many other areas will be open for you. So all the best for that. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions?
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Please
Yeah,
introduce yourself and go ahead.
yeah. My name is Astos. I am currently enrolled for PGDSM course, and I have done my mechanical engineering from Manit Bhopal. After that, I was working in some organization. So, the as I looked upon the alumni's profile, it is quite clear that if you do from PGDFM or you are from FPM, there is a lot of scope in the research field. Right? While in the case of this sustainability management, which is a new course, I think so there is a very little information available about what is the research scope in that field. So if it would be possible, sir, you can give us some idea about that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Look, I think that so firstly, I just want to, one important point that both PGDFM and PGDSM are very, very unique courses, and both have emerging demand. One on the climate strategy side, one on the nature-based side, one on the ESG side, one on offset investing side. So both of them have very distinct advantages of their own. In terms of research, you are right that there might have been, in number of people, in quantum terms, more people from IFM who've engaged with research majorly on the forestry side. But if you were to qualitatively weigh I would say that the balance is quite even. You might know that at least three previous IFMites are in very senior faculty roles in IIMs, in three IIMs, and they're actually in their own right counted as major gurus of management. So unfortunately, they're not here today, but at some point you will be engaging with them, or possibly in your foundation also. We are likely to get them. So there have been a number of IFMites who have done acclaimed research and have hold prestigious positions on the management research side. The second issue to note also is, I'm so sorry, what was your name?
Sir, Ashutosh.
Ashutosh. The other important thing to note is that on the sustainable management side, the idea of deep research is also relatively new, right? The idea of what constitutes a good ESG ranking methodology, what constitutes a good claims code for companies to be able to offset their emissions, are areas which are very new and emerging. These are areas that we are working on just now, starting in the last 2 3 years, maybe at most in the last 8 10 years. So that's another point to bear in mind, that this is a sector which is just starting to bloom and blossom. So in addition to looking at past precedents, I would highly encourage you to look at future potential, to explore what are the areas which require evidence and where nobody has really ventured so far. What are the drawbacks? What are the challenges? There is so much criticism nowadays, for example, of ESG investing. What is it that you can do to, contribute to that sector? I think that you also keep your mind open from that perspective, that end of the day, there might be a possibility of contributing to a space which has just started, and hence resultantly that's one of the other reasons why presidents are low. Do you understand what I'm saying, Ashutosh? Does it make any sense?
Yeah, sir. I
Yeah, yeah.
understand that this is an emerging field, so we have to look into the future of what are the opportunities that comes in front of us and utilize it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Thank you. I see in
Thank
the
you, sir.
chat there is also a comment on wildlife. Who posted that comment? Can you please speak up and ask a question? Wildlife?
Yeah, wildlife. Before we go there, Swapan, I just wanted to make a comment.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
And which is directed to all of you, is that maybe no, it is that this is the first time you will be exposed to management education. Now, it is very different from what you have done before in college or in PG or in research. Management education is a very different concept, which basically makes you in many ways master of everything. I would not like to use the word jack. So you become master of many trades. You become a problem solver. You become a solution person. You understand other people's problems. You build scenarios. So management education. That is why everybody wants management education. So what I would encourage all of you to do is that not think so much about jobs which are now 2 years far, but pick up what is being taught in the institution. That is very important. The first few terms, don't go and start rejoicing that I have come to IFM, I should just enjoy my life and not focus on some of the basic courses that are being taught. Because that is very important. The first few terms, pick up what is being taught. You will find the answers to some of the questions that you're asking yourself. On climate, for instance, nowadays, ESG he mentioned, but also there is hardly any research on, let's say, carbon markets or emission trading or what companies are doing. There's so much of greenwashing going on. Are the climate policies helping in emission abatement? No research has been done. If you get into all this, you will be the pioneer. So I would say that climate and sustainability are the real new opportunities for IFM people, whether you are in PFM or PSM. You will find that companies will pick you up or other organizations pick you up for your talent, because you will be tuned to these concerns and these issues from the very beginning, whereas any other general MBA guy would take time to understand what are the issues. You will start from day one. When you start your first classes in ecology, you will understand what is the importance of all this. So my plea and request to all of you is that be focused on our academics, and if you do well in your academics, you will see that there are many opportunities for all of you. Yeah, wildlife question.
Wildlife question, yes. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, sir. That was wildlife question, guys. Who was?
कुछ chat में था.
So in the interim, Khushi has a question. Khushi, you just texted that you have a question.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Khushi, huh?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, to all the seniors out there and super seniors. It's a pleasure talking to you all. So even this time choosing IFM, one of the major decision plus point that weighted in favor of this institute was the alumni association. The bond that all the alumni have from the various batches. So it made me feel that there must be something in this institute that got you all connected so far. So my question here is that like it was a very tough call to choose between the forestry management, that is the 4 decades old course that this institute provides, and the relatively new course that is sustainability management. So I wanted to ask that, like I've taken FPM, sorry, the for PGD FM course this year. Can I, while pursuing the forestry management, I'm from BCom honors background, so I've literally no knowledge about forestry. Even from PGD FM, can I still do research into things which are more inclined to sustainability, like climate finance and emissions trading and all this, or will I be restricted to forestry or plantation sites only? Because a lot of my batchmates are from agriculture background or forestry background, and I'm not from that.
Um, I can start, Khushi, and then others can join in. So my answer is absolutely yes, because there are dimensions of everything that you mentioned, emission trading and carbon, which relate to forestry and relate to nature. So there is definitely a huge opportunity there. So there's nothing stopping you. There's nothing also stopping you from later making a shift towards mainstream sustainability. But in a specialization at the overlap of forestry and climate, forestry and finance at this point of time is something which is especially in demand. So I think that combining those while you are there will be very, very beneficial. Yeah. I also want to just restate and emphasize Sandeep sir's point here that this space is changing so fast, guys, that by the time you graduate, there'll be three other new markets and four other new instruments which would have been institutionalized looking at the climate finance space or looking at the ESG space. So also keep your mind open, because one thing is for sure, based on all of our experience, that investments, disclosures, and policy in the areas of climate and nature is only going to become stringent and stringent. So the opportunities will keep arising. So I think that one important point that I again sir said is that very important to go in right now, enjoy yourself, get to know the institute, but also really what has served me well over the last few years, working and leading major carbon funds, founding my own organization, is the fundamentals, understanding the fundamentals of forestry and the fundamentals of finance at the same time, really immersing very deeply in the field work that IFM sends you to do. It's such an amazing learning opportunity that most people can't afford to do that. Most private institutions can only dream of giving such kind of field exposure to their students, which IFM does, sitting in the Ministry of Environment. So I think if you build those fundamentals, a lot of these questions will automatically answer themselves. And lastly, I think this is a problem of plenty we are facing right now, right? Like whether to do sustainability or climate, because both are so much in demand. So it's not a bad problem to have. So just be comfortable in staying with this problem for 6 more months, and then you'll have your answer, is my advice. But short answer, yes, what you were saying is absolutely doable. Anybody else? Any other thoughts on this from the alumni side?
Yeah, we'll add a few points on this. Look, don't worry about your background. You are going to get a solid fundamental from IFM, which will further extend your background. It will give you additional areas where you can utilize your fundamental understanding and knowledge, what you earned till date. And you can flourish in different areas, not only for research, as you see the profile of the alumni. We are in very different sectors and with very different background. Even BSc in nutrition people are there. Say commerce graduates are there, social science graduates are there, and they are doing outstanding work in different domains. I did my master's in geology, MSc geology. Then I went to IFM. I did my postmasters in natural resource management. I worked in glaciology. I am currently working in ESG. I led, say, geospatial technologies application in different domains. Did business development and technical marketing for that. It's basically creating your experience, your career. It's giving you a base with which using your past experience and knowledge, you can grow in the area which you like. No limitations, no boundaries. So it is all about you, how you are utilizing your time in IFM, what you are learning, how you are inclining yourself. And I'm pretty sure once you are coming out of the IFM, you have a very good background. You are having a clarity of thoughts and you can excel in your area. So don't worry about what is your background or you want to go for research or which domain. Enjoy your starting time, as Sapan was also saying. Enjoy your learning over there. While learning, you will get number of additional class and you will get an open market where you.
All right, Shashank. Next is
Okay, sir.
Shashank. Shashank, you have a question? Shashank, then after that, Rajneesh, Shatabdi, and Aprajita. Shashank.
Sir, thank you for answering my question. Just actually, the trend is because the last few years the demand of ESG has risen so much. So, do you like you all are so much experienced? Do you also feel that somewhere the flagship course forestry management is losing its niche because there's more future potential in
Not at all. Not
sustainability?
at all, Khushi. Not at all. The potential is equally high. If you Google now and see the emphasis on nature-based solutions, nature investing, pro-nature, nature neutral, biodiversity is on the increase. If at all, I think that in few years it might be a bigger opportunity. So no, not at all. It's not losing sheen at all. It's just that we need to make the transition from just thinking as foresters to managers, which we've always thought. I mean, it's not even a transition. So no, completely disagree. It's not like it's
Okay,
losing
sir.
sheen. Both of them have a unique niche. Both of them have great, great, great demand.
And it is
Shashank,
possible to shift or have both the things in hand.
everything is possible, but first you go in and start the course that you're doing, then think of shifting.
Yeah.
You are
Thanks.
going to learn everything. Don't worry for that.
Shashank, over to you, Shashank. If Shashank is not there, Rajneesh.
Yes, sir. Hi. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Sure.
Uh, I'm
Go
Rajneesh
ahead, go ahead.
and I have done BSc Agriculture. Now, my question over here is that I'm interested in renewable energy and carbon market and environment. So, how important it would be for me to get the summer internship in that sector as well, and to have a like smoother experience during the final placement. Like let's say if I get a summer placement in the different domain, so would that badly affect me during the final placement?
Okay, okay. Sandeep, sir.
Yeah, no, I was just wanting to tell you that, the purpose of today's meeting is also to tell you that you have your batchmate, then you will have the senior batch, then you will have the faculty, but there is a huge group of alumni outside who will be there to support you, to help you, to guide you. So it's not that you are swimming alone in shark infested waters and you will be alone. So people like Tapan and Vivek and Ravi and Radhika and Nikhil, they are the kind of people, there are many like that who will be there to guide you, to support you, to advise you. So don't be very anxious at the moment. The idea should be to perform well in the academic. When I joined ISM, I thought my first year life में मैं जिंदगी बन गई. So I just started and I didn't focus on academics. And then when I realized it today, I tried very hard. I did very well, but there were people who went ahead of me. And when you go to ISM, there is a board which has the names of the first two, the silver and the gold medalists. And in my batch, my name is not there. So I don't want your names to be there on that board. So be focused and career options. Management education is very transformative. It will change your mindset. It will change the way you look at things. And many of you are the specialists, but this will add to your specialization. Your job value, market value will increase after this education. That I'm very sure about. Go ahead. Who is Rajnish? You are speaking?
Rajneesh had a question about whether getting an internship in one sector locks him into that sector forever. So, do you also want to answer his question?
No, I don't think so because employers look for also diversity. So, and also you may make a mistake. You may think you want, let's say, to work in, let's say, microfinance, or you want to work, let's say, you want to work in ESG, and later on you realize, no, that's not your cup of tea. You want to be a development professional. So it's never late to change one's career. I changed my career at the age of 28, and I have only held 2 jobs in my life. I'm 54 now, or 55. So people make mistakes, and it doesn't knock you in. And if you are clear-headed and you know where you want to be and what you want to do, for instance, there's a wildlife person here, so he should look for a wildlife internship. He should focus more on wildlife. He should do research or field work on wildlife, and then he all of us three idiots. तो वो जो क्या नाम था फरहान ने इंजीनियरिंग करके गलती करी है, but he had the time to change or advice to change, and he did. My daughter went to study computer science in United States, but today she wants to be a chef, and she's training to be a chef, so I let her be. So nothing locks you in, and every experience that you have is valuable. Life is itself a lesson, and you will find your niche. You will find what is your calling, and I found my calling. I did physics honors, but today if you ask me anything about physics, I can't answer. But I can talk for 2 hours on climate or on policy or what is development. So it's a pura bindas, and people like Vivek and Papan and Nikhil and Radhika, all of them are there to guide and support. There are many more in the Alumni Association chat. A lot of people are on, they are not with you guys, but we didn't want all of them to come here. So आप लोगों से बात नहीं हो पाई.
Thus, just to add on, answer this question, one of my batchmates who did his dissertation work in rural development sector, social aspect, he is currently heading WWF Kerala. So he did his internship in a different sector, but he is heading WWF Kerala right now. So no limitations, no foundations. You can take it as a fundamental and you can grow in your domain.
There is one question in the chat that since IFM degree is not recognized by NCB, does it affect chances of PhD? Does anybody have an answer to this? Vivek, do you have an answer to this?
No, it is not limiting you. I have to check on that further, but the people who did courses like what I did, they did their PhD, they are professors in different universities.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get back to you on that one, guys. Anybody else? Any questions? Shashank? No, Shashank. Shashank is a question. Opportunity in ecotourism. Yes, Shashank. IFMites have a long-standing demonstrated history in ecotourism. There was a time when we used to manage all of jungle lodges. There are some of our seniors who are known as national authorities in this space. Two names that come to my mind are, please, you can write down, Lokesh Kumar and Nahar Mohammed. We'll be happy to connect you to these people if you're interested in this space. Other questions? Shatabdi, you had a question. Do you want to go ahead?
Hello.
Yeah, Shatabdi, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good
you are
evening,
audible.
everyone.
Good evening.
And before I begin, I would like to thank everyone, especially our Alumni Association for hosting this, and Swapan sir. And I have enrolled into the PGDSM program, and like or unlike my fellow batchmates, I'm very blank about the journey. My question here is, what all would you suggest us? Like, what all prerequisites do we need to have to learn or to unlearn before we enter into the campus for a better journey, for a better learning program?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. Please go ahead, sir.
My suggestion is that before you answer, since we're running out of time, why don't you club a few questions?
Yes. I was. Any other?
Ashaduddin का हाथ उठा हुआ है.
Please go ahead.
अभी last set of questions ले लो, because we are about to be 7.
We have like 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Can I speak?
Hello.
Yeah. Please
Yeah,
go ahead.
please.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir, I wanted to know that for a FM student, is it okay that if he doesn't have any clear picture as to which sector he should join and in the beginning, like I'm totally confused as to which sector should I choose
Okay.
for
Okay.
a
That's.
FM student?
I think those are related questions. Any other questions? Anybody else?
Hello, sir. I'm Sneha.
Yes. Go ahead.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Sir, so I wanted to ask that I'll be joining the PGDFM program. So,
Yeah.
what all skills do we require to learn over there apart from our regular courses to get our placement, or that would help in our summer placement as well as in the final placement?
Okay. Last question, guys. Anybody has a last question?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So I have a question regarding the PGDSM and PGDFM course. Sir,
Yes.
while PGDFM course is known for pro environment course, right? While
Yeah.
PGDSM, we have to take care of the corporation's profit and the environment both together, right? So my concern is that even if I am pro environment, then how are corporations going to be happy with that? Because I think so there is a conflict there.
Okay. Okay, guys. So I think that we can try and answer some of these questions, and then I'll also request all the alumni to have their last words while addressing these questions. I'll start. So I think one of the key questions or group of questions is about where to place yourself starting now, and what about the possibility of changing courses later. So I think we've answered this, that there is available across both PGDFM and PGDSM. Both of these have overlaps but have exclusive boundaries. There is a huge demand, an increasing demand for people who work on ESGs, people who work on carbon finance, across the whole industry. This demand is only going to increase in the next 2-3 years. By the time you guys graduate, these markets would have matured even more. There might be even new things. We are right now supporting the ministry in developing a green credit scheme, unheard of. So there'll be a need for a lot of managers. Like Sandeep sir said, I think that knowing exactly what you want to do right now is not a prerequisite to a successful career post IFM. I think one of the things about entering into this unique space, and all of you are brave to take a decision to depart from the ordinary, not do a regular MBA and join the environment degree, is that there is flux, and that flux can be turned to your advantage by being receptive to new ideas, by being open across your journey, and not being comfortable with the fact that you don't have all the answers right now. That's one resounding message from my side. All of us, if you look at all of our stories, we started out believing that we want to be in this sector, and then things worked out because there was just so much to do. In terms of the possibilities of PhD research, there are a lot of precedences. Specific queries regarding specific sectors, we'll be very happy to guide you towards alumni who work in those areas. I'll offer to send you my WhatsApp number and LinkedIn on the chat here, and I request some of these other alumni as well, whoever is comfortable, so that we can keep this conversation alive and keep connecting you to perfect people who can answer your questions. With that, I think I'll pause. I'll pass on to others who would like to say something before we wrap up. We are at time, so we can start in reverse order and conclude with Sandeep sir. So Radhika ma'am, would you like to say anything?
Well, I guess we are out of time, but just very, about whether this course restricts us to a particular scope and whether an internship might be critical to get. I just would like to tell all the students that there is immense scope, and people not just change fields, they've changed field 10 years, 15 years after working in a certain area. And like Sandeep Das said in the beginning, that this course actually prepares you for and opens up so many possibilities that, internship किसमें कर रहे हो ये तो बहुत ही बेसिक है. लोग कब कब क्या क्या चेंज करके और फिर महारत हासिल कर लेते हैं दूसरी फील्ड में, और ये हुआ है बहुत लोगों के साथ. We'll run out of time if I give examples, so just be very open, you know, and just once again very warm welcome, and I hope to see you, some of you, soon. Bye bye.
ये विवेक तुम कुछ कहोगे और now
Vivek.
It's good that you people are having some confusions. Confusion always helps. जब आप campus में आओगे, then you will learn a number of things and your confusions will be clear. So don't worry about that. That's good. You are choosing a good course, a good institute, and coming to a institute with some confusions, which is very essential to start with. All the best for that. And yeah, certainly you are going to enjoy that. Take care.
Yeah, I would just take the opportunity to thank all of you for joining us, and I regret that we could not reach out to the one person who had decided to join in person. Our regrets and apologies, but since the response was low on in person, we decided to go online. And in the coming years, we propose to do many more workshops in person in cities, but I think this was good, and I'm very happy with the response. I think more than 80 students joined. There were many questions which had come up. I don't know when you are leaving to Bhopal, but if there is a demand, we could also have a dedicated session by one of our alumni who deals with the sustainability and carbon space. We could have in the coming days one evening, we could have a lecture by him before you go to Bhopal. But what I want to also say is that when you go to Bhopal, there will be orientation program, and from July, the Alumni Association will run a series of placement workshops for the senior batch. You should join those workshops. You will understand what the market wants from you, what are the opportunities, and that answer many of them. So once again, thanks for joining. Congratulations. I thank my colleagues, Dr. Nikhil, Radhika, Vivek, who joined. Many people joined. Now we can't have so many people. They didn't join, but there will be other opportunities to talk to them. And if you feel that there is a specific need, do let us know. You have our email. You can write to Amrita, our office manager, with the person from whom we got the mail. You can write to her if you have a particular need on a particular question. You could do one or two more of these workshops, specifically on this. With these words, thank you, and welcome to the IFM family.
Thank you so much, sir. Guys, one important point I just want to, out of everything Sandeep sir said, you also had a question, what can help you prepare for your placements? This time round, IFM is making a special effort to get you instructors who can focus on helping you sharpen your soft skills, better presentations, better special sessions, the ones that are going to help you in these skills, writing, presentation, etc. Those go a long way in addition to your technical acumen in getting placements. So I just thought I'll emphasize that because it's a special effort the institute is making this time. With that, thank you so much all of you for participating, and please feel free to reach out to us with further queries, and we are happy to organize other sessions. We will, over the course of next 2 years, engage with you a lot more. But like all of us have said, reach the institute, focus on all the basics, and then maybe a 1 or 2 months in, we can start talking about specialized issues and specialized topics with specific alumni, to help you orient yourselves. But the key is fundamentals. So I hope you guys are able to draw out a lot from the faculty and the programming there. With this, we'll conclude now, and good luck and safe travels to all of you. And thank you so much to all the alumni for taking out time and participating at such a short notice. We'll all be in touch. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank
All the
you.
best and
Bye-bye.
bye.
Thank you, sir.